Something was wrong. We've explored countless travel destinations, but this one was different. Nobody saw it coming. While places like Bali and Bangkok have long dominated Asian travel, a new contender has exploded onto the scene. Forget what you think you know about Asia's hottest destinations, because according to Agoda's latest New Horizons ranking, everything has changed. Agoda, the travel giant, analyzed accommodation booking ranks over the past 2 years. The results were shocking. Sapa, Vietnam, has been recognized as Asia's fastest growing destination for international travelers. Fastest growing, not just growing, but the fastest, beating out every other major player in the region. How did this relatively unknown mountain town skyrocket to the top of everyone's travel list? The sheer speed of Sapa's rise is astonishing. It's a transformation unlike anything we've ever seen. But what's driving this sudden surge? And is Sapa ready for the inevitable influx? The answers are more complex and more unexpected than you could ever imagine. But Sapa's meteoric rise isn't just about stunning landscapes. It's fueled by something far more tangible, a colossal gamble. A $248 million bet, to be precise. That's the authorized investment for the new Sapa airport. Imagine pouring that much money into a relatively small town nestled high in the mountains. The sheer scale of the investment is staggering. But is it a stroke of genius or a recipe for disaster? This isn't just some vanity project. The Sapa airport is being built through a public-private partnership, a gamble where both the government and private entities are betting big on Sapa's future. We've seen similar airport investments transform destinations, but we've also seen them bankrupt towns. Will this airport transform Sapa into a global tourism hotspot, or will it become a costly mistake, a concrete elephant in the mountains? The answer may lie in Sapa's official status, something that could tip the scales in its favor, something nobody saw coming. But an airport alone doesn't guarantee success. Something more profound was brewing in Sapa, a change in status, January 2026. That's when Sapa officially transitioned from a mere village to a national strategic tourism city. Think of it like this. It's a formal recognition of Sapa's national importance for tourism development, a signal that things are about to change dramatically. Other cities have held similar designations. Some blossomed, becoming global hotspots. Others, well, they face unforeseen challenges. This status isn't just a title, it's a green light for massive development, increased investment, and a whole new level of tourism management. The wow factor? Sapa, a place once known for its rice terraces and tranquil villages, is now officially on the national stage. But what does this new status mean for the local communities and their traditional way of life? Are these traditions under threat? But what does being a national strategic tourism city actually mean for Sapa? Consider this. During the Lunar New Year Tet holiday just weeks ago in February 2026, Sapa's room occupancy didn't just peak, it almost completely blacked out. A staggering 90 to 95% of all rooms were occupied, every single night. Imagine the pressure. Think of other destinations buckling under the strain of over-tourism. Venice, Barcelona, now Sapa experiencing a pressure cooker of demand. Every restaurant packed, every tour booked, every service stretched to its absolute limit. A near total sweep. Resources strained to breaking point. But is this a sign of success or a harbinger of something far more troubling? Can Sapa truly handle this level of intense tourism without sacrificing its unique charm and irreplaceable cultural heritage? But even packed rooms are just the beginning of the story. The sheer scale of Sapa's transformation is almost unbelievable. In 2025, a record 4.3 million visitors descended upon this once sleepy mountain town. Imagine the entire population of Los Angeles squeezed into an area the size of Sapa. It's a visitor tsunami. Local infrastructure buckled under the strain. Roads clogged, resources stretched thin. And the forecasts are even more alarming. Projections estimate over 5 million visitors in 2026. But how could this remote location handle such a massive influx? What's the breaking point? And the biggest question of all, where are these millions coming from and what are they looking for in Sapa? But where are all these tourists coming from? The answer might surprise you. In 2025, China surged to the top, becoming Vietnam's leading source of tourists. A staggering 5.3 million Chinese visitors flooded into Vietnam. This influx signals the powerful resurgence of the Chinese market in Vietnamese tourism, reshaping Sapa's landscape. Imagine the scale of change, businesses adapting, menus translating, and the very atmosphere shifting. Other destinations have felt the impact of concentrated tourism. Consider similar ripple effects. But is Sapa's reliance on a single market sustainable? But with Sapa's magnetic pull showing no signs of slowing, a critical question emerges: can Sapa sustain itself? The flood of tourists risks Disneyfying the town center, eroding the very authenticity that draws people in. Aggressive commercialization threatens to overshadow the unique cultural heritage of the local ethnic minorities. Sapa needs a delicate balancing act, rapid growth versus the preservation of its natural and cultural assets. Fortunately, there's a growing buzz around sustainable tourism practices here. But are they truly effective? Look at Costa Rica, a world leader in ecotourism, or Bhutan with its high-value, low-impact approach. Can Sapa learn from these examples? The contrast is stark. Sapa's breakneck speed of development versus the urgent need to protect its unique identity before it's lost forever. But the question remains, who exactly is responsible for ensuring Sapa's sustainability? And are they truly doing enough to stop it becoming another generic resort town? Sapa's breathtaking landscapes are just half the story. Beyond the stunning vistas and bustling tourist spots lies the heart of Sapa, its ethnic minority communities. For generations, the Hmong, Dao, and other groups have called these mountains home, preserving unique cultures and traditions. Sapa is known for its rich ethnic culture and vibrant highland markets. These are the experiences that attract travelers seeking authentic and immersive cultural moments. But what happens when their home becomes a global destination? We sat down with members of the Hmong and Dao communities to hear their untold stories. Before we only farmed. Now tourists come every day. One Hmong woman explains, her eyes filled with both hope and uncertainty. Another Dao elder shares, our traditions are precious. We must find a way to protect them. Hearing directly from these communities reveals a complex reality, a delicate balance between opportunity and preservation. How are these communities adapting to the changing landscape, and what does the future hold for their traditions? So Sapa versus Hanoi and Ha Long Bay, which should you choose for your first Vietnamese adventure? Hanoi, the bustling capital, offers vibrant city life, delicious street food, and historical sites. But Sapa promises something different. A cooler climate, stunning mountain views, and immersion in ethnic minority cultures. Imagine trekking through vibrant rice paddies, meeting local villagers, and experiencing traditions untouched by time. Then there's Ha Long Bay, a UNESCO World Heritage Site famous for its breathtaking limestone karsts and emerald waters. Ha Long Bay is ideal for relaxation, scenic cruises, and soaking up the natural beauty. But if you are looking for authentic cultural immersion and challenging treks, Sapa is the clear winner. Each destination offers something unique. The distinct advantages and disadvantages of each may surprise you, but if Sapa is so great, why aren't more people choosing it over the more established destinations? But behind Sapa's breathtaking views and vibrant markets lies a darker reality. Mass tourism, while economically beneficial, strains Sapa's delicate ecosystem and resources. Overcrowding during peak seasons isn't just uncomfortable. It impacts the very environment that draws people in. And the aggressive commercialization, it threatens to erode the unique cultural identity of Sapa's ethnic minorities. Authenticity is sacrificed for profit. Ancient traditions risk becoming hollow performances. Specific examples? Look at the increasing pollution in the Mong Ho Valley, once pristine, now battling waste management issues. Or the Hmong women, who are sometimes pushed into aggressive sales tactics. These are the uncomfortable truths hidden beneath the postcard-perfect facade. But is Sapa on the verge of losing its soul completely? After peeling back some of Sapa's less appealing truths, let's shift gears. We're diving deep into the nuts and bolts of the ambitious Sapa Airport project. Phase 1 is where the rubber meets the runway, so to speak. Construction is expected to run for a little over 2 years, but here's the real kicker. Phase 1 alone carries a price tag of over VND 398 trillion. That's $152 million US dollars. Think about that for a second. For a region grappling with the pressures of rapid tourism, that's a massive investment in infrastructure. The scale of this initial phase is staggering, but it's just the beginning. A price tag that begs the question, what is the anticipated ROI for this project? But the story doesn't end there. Just when you think you've grasped the scale of this transformation, Phase 2 emerges from the blueprint shadows. Scheduled to commence in 2028, this next stage represents another VN 2.41 trillion. That's $91.90 million in investment. But what exactly does nearly $92 million buy you in the rugged highlands of Vietnam? Phase 2 isn't just about more concrete, it's about multiplying capacity. The goal? A staggering 3 million passengers. Think expanded terminals, more aircraft parking spaces, and the sleek addition of jet bridges whisking travelers directly from plane to paradise. These aren't mere upgrades, they're a statement, a bold declaration of Sapa's ambition to compete on the global stage. But as the runways expand and the passenger numbers soar, a crucial question lingers. What impact will this airport have on the local economy? But the story doesn't end with construction. Key to this entire venture is the PPP contract, a public-private partnership agreement that governs the airport's future. This isn't just about building an airport, it's about ensuring its long-term viability through a unique financial and operational structure. PPP contracts, common in infrastructure projects worldwide, shift some of the risk and responsibility from the government to private companies. In Vietnam, PPPs have been used for highways and power plants, leveraging private sector expertise and capital. But here's where things get really interesting. This particular PPP contract in Sapa covers capital recovery, operation, and construction for almost 47 years. That's nearly half a century of shared responsibility and potentially shared risk. The private company shoulders responsibilities for nearly 5 decades. This extended timeline raises a crucial question. What risks are associated with a contract of this magnitude? But the airport is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The real story lies in how tourism reshapes the entire Lao Tai province. In 2024 alone, Lao Tai welcomed a staggering 8 million visitors. Over 820,000 came from abroad, seeking the unique beauty of this region. But even more significant were the over 7.18 million domestic travelers. Now consider this. All those visitors translated into roughly 26.7 trillion VND in tourism revenue. To put that in perspective, that's more than some entire smaller provinces generate in total annual economic output. The influx of money is undeniable, but the question remains, who really benefits? How does this massive revenue actually impact the lives of the residents of Lao Cai? But how much of that Lao Cai tourism revenue actually makes its way into Sapa itself? The answer is substantial. In 2025 alone, Sapa Ward generated over 520 billion VND from tourism and related services. That's a staggering figure, but its true significance becomes clear when you see its contribution to the broader region. Sapa Ward accounted for 42% of the entire Lao Cai province's tourism revenue. Consider the other districts in Lao Cai. For one ward to contribute such a massive percentage to the overall tourism economy, it's practically unheard of. The sheer volume of revenue generated in Sapa Ward confirms its status as the engine driving tourism in Lao Cai. But with that much money flowing into one specific area, you have to wonder, how does all this revenue actually impact the everyday residents of Sapa Ward? So, with Sapa Ward contributing 42% of Lao Cai province's tourism revenue, the question becomes, what does the future hold? Vietnam's tourism sector, boosted by expanded e-visa eligibility and longer visa-free stays, saw a vibrant 2026 Tet holiday. An estimated 14 million visitors, a 12% year-on-year increase, flocked to destinations across the country. But behind the booming numbers, a crucial question lingers. Is Sapa prepared for the long game? Will the influx of tourists ultimately sustain the region, or will it become a victim of its own success? Visualize Sapa's current state, contrasted with potential future scenarios of both prosperity and decline. The uncertainty surrounding Sapa's future, despite its current success, is the ultimate mystery. The question is, can Sapa continue to grow sustainably while holding true to its unique identity? Or is Sapa heading towards a breaking point, sacrificing its soul for short-term gains? The answer, it seems, lies hidden. Comment, subscribe, and share this video with your traveler friends. See you in the next one.